Hello, welcome back to Disco Elysium. Here in the snowy north section of town, near this weird church we have to get into. And can I just call out the amount of health replenishments we have? 7 health replenishers and 8 morale replenishers. More tribalistic markings. This post is covered in little humanoids. I probably missed something because I've been pressing the tab key. But yes, we will need to go into the tent and ask about the church and why we need to go in and investigate the church. But a pole screwed into the ice keeps the tent erect. Trash from some unending party. Okay. Let's get into the tent. The tent is just a tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men, all in forward-looking apparel, reminiscent of the sticker on the padlock, are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
Okay. Hello, Andre. Let's go in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
Sorry, Lieutenant. Can't come in.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, it definitely was not this big from the outside. Smells like sweat and laundry detergent, plus a trace of ether. Canisters filled with what appears to be water. The label says distilled, so it's not water. I mean, it could be distilled water, but probably not. A speaker, the big kind they use for live music. Hopefully this music isn't too loud for the viewer. A pile of nasal sprays, brand name Nosifed Ultra. Yeah, we know all about Nosifed. Alright, Andre, let's talk. You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hands in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello, Andre. Pleasure to meet you too. There is definitely something futuristic about his hair, aggressively so. You get the sense that this is what the future will look like. Imbecilic. Yes, this future, should the future ever come, it will look deeply imbecilic, like this guy. Let's shake his hand, sure. His grip is strong. His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
Oh, Noid, you're the one with the, sticker? Padlock? The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously. Okay, so this is Noid. On the left.
Egghead.
Noid and Egghead. Okay, looks kind of preppy, Egghead.
Egg!
Well, hello! The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably Anodic music.
Together with a Cell Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Well, hello. I already met Acel. So how many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
Okay, so 0. That means they haven't set up a single one yet. That's what I said, 0. Why are you here?
See, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Uh-huh, and you found the church.
Also for talent.
Yes, finding talent. I got you, Egghead.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
Yep, sure is.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
There is no need. The place is pretty bad. Next time, watch yourself. Was there something you wanted? Your friend Acel said there was a problem with the church. No, I mean... Sure. Well, Jamrock is our home, so maybe we shouldn't say it's bad. Yeah, let's just jump right to the chase. What about the church?
Ah, so you've met her. Good. Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of Malcolmania on the coast.
No. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Sure.
Dope heads?
Yeah, like you, Egghead.
Burnouts. Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol. Strike that, the word!
Egghead, like, you seriously have to start laying off whatever you're on, dude.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. I don't think there's anyone in there. I don't think there's any dopeheads or burnouts in there. Good, this calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those. What kind? I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kind. No narcomaniacs on my watch. No, what kind? The worst kind? The spooky kind? What exactly do you mean by spooky? Spookiness is not a matter for police investigations. Well, we've been doing a lot of weird police investigations, so what do you mean by spooky? I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring the church into a community center, a place of spiritual refuge. I thought it was a dance club. Is your dancing a spiritual event now? Also, they don't heat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that. Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter, getting them out, whatever spooky stuff they're doing. I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for. I'll look into it, tell me more. I'll make up my mind later. I have questions for you first. The police have more important things to do right now. No, yeah, I'll look into it, but tell me more. New task. Help the ravers start a nightclub. Alright, man. Andre is obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchange giddy nods. Acel told me Noid put the padlock on the door. Who exactly are these people inside the church? You mentioned some kind of Ecclesiastes own the church. Who are the Ecclesiastes? I wanted to ask you about this temple of equipment. No, who are these people inside the church? Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses. You haven't even seen them, and you want the police involved? Better safe than sorry. Anything? Yeah, you haven't even seen them? Well, there's also the machinery. When I first scouted the place back in February, it was abandoned, empty. It took some time getting the crew together, so about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there were all these strange machines lying around in there. One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it. Andre, tell him about the feeling. Oh, and it felt like there was some sort of thing in there with us, watching us from the dark. No, the other one. Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg. Felt like silence. Awful silence. But you haven't physically seen anyone. Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church a couple of times, and we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. A woman. A woman that might have our gun? What was that about something watching you? Can you tell me more about the machinery? How can you be so sure they're burnouts and dopeheads if you haven't seen them? What was about the thing watching you? Like, you aren't alone, you know? It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean. Not human, as in a ghost? Do you know what he means? There was this dark shape climbing outside down the ceiling, like some kind of crab man. Crab man? Yeah, you know. The way it was climbing up and around the ceiling like a crab. The other one agrees. It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior. Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls. Are you sure there was a crab man or ambush behavior? Yeah, crab man. Okay, let's just... You know what? He has no idea what he's talking about, so let's just nod and move on. Crabman, says Egghead. Yeah, Egghead. Crabman. Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there. So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid? You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab. There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense. Can you tell me more about the machinery? You should talk to Noid about that. Just got a distant burnout and dope-ed sign from them. Probably jacked up some stuff, some snuff station too. Probably, very likely. And how can you be sure there's burnouts and dope-eds if you haven't seen them? Well, honestly, I can't, but I am. This is a below feeble attempted avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy. Wow, you can't, but you do. I should add weaponized idiocy to my repertoire. Or, I don't see a single thing wrong with that argument. No, let's not push him. I mean, we know he's an idiot, but there's no reason to call him an idiot to his face. I'm 70% sure they're substance users. Don't let the technology fool you. He makes little quotation marks with his fingers when he says technology. Okay, let's talk about something else. Estelle told me Noid put the padlock on the door. Why did you put the padlock on the door, Noid? I did ask Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation. I had to do it in a hurry, not my best work, but it should hold for a while. How long have those people been locked in there? Not long, like a week maybe. That's not nice. How can you be sure they haven't starved to death? I'm pretty sure they're alive. I mean, come on, I'm at least 90 to maybe 85% sure they're alive. Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You might have learned about the term involuntary manslaughter there. Andre, do you know what involuntary manslaughter means? 85% is not good enough when you're dealing with another person's physical well-being. 85% is good enough. No one lives forever, baby. No, do you know about involuntary manslaughter, Andre? Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I am at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever that alive in their entire lives. What does that even mean? Sounds like nonsense. Yeah, catch your drift. No, that sounds like nonsense, Andre. You're right. It is nonsense. Total garbage. I knew you'd see through it. You're one smart cop. I get by. Now, where was I with that padlock? He nods attentively, ready to answer the questions of one smart cop. Okay, so he's just totally pushing us over. Once we catch him out, he flatters us, and we just move on. I gotcha. So I need the key. Of course, Noid, give the officer the key. Alright. The speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden, cool, infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies toward you. 83%. Or let it fall to the ground, then pick it up. Like a normal adult person. No, we're going for the 83% reaction speed. Oh, almost a perfect roll. We needed a 10 and we got a 16. We crushed it. You sense the trajectory of a little piece of metal in a plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime in to your left. Let's catch it. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freak nods to you approvingly. Bask in the glory or thanks, man. No, let's play it cool. Thanks, man. The speed freak nods to you. Yeah, so other questions. Tell me about the Ecclesiastes. Oh yeah, that's a Meteoran name for the founding party. Though, it'd be cool. I thought it'd be cool to use it. If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery. Before we go on, what do you mean by Meteoran? Now humor me, Andre. What is the founding party? Don't mask it. I don't even know what the founding party is. No, humor me, Andre. Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organization. And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Paracarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. Like they made the Innocentic system, no? Now, Andre, in your opinion, would this ancient religious organization who anoints the innocent want a club for anotic music in one of their churches, where they sound like exactly the kind who would want loud we're gonna mess up this word every time. Anotic music. No, would they want anotic music in their church? Totally. There isn't a trace of doubt in his voice. The Paracarnassian Church is about love. Anotic music is about love. I got love for my Paracarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance! He violently shakes the tape player as if to see if he can break it. Love is hardcore. Unity. Unity! Make some noise for my Insulidian posse. He turns the volume up, then looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you will not break into dance. Oh. Okay, so we passed that. You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the water. No words, enjoy the beat. I don't understand what you're talking about. What's a posse? I guess love can be pretty hardcore. I now understand it was lame of me to suggest otherwise. Anotic music is about love. And so is the Paracarnassian Church. No, this is too much. No sane organization would want this level of absurdity in their church. No, let's just nod our head. Let's just feel the music. Feels good. Did we? Our character actually starts to move a little bit. All right, I get you. That's cool. You know what? The church is abandoned anyways. The old lady said no one has done any church services in there forever. So, you know what? Let's do it. Let's make this rave go. Yeah! Yekota! Yekokata! The place to be. Yeah, whatever Yekokata is. Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew. His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in his hand, approvingly so. I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyways, you got more questions? The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. I mean, my body is moving. Well, it's not anymore, but you feel like you could go for a little disco when or if they get this club going. You've got it in you. I wanted to ask you about this equipment. What about it? I see you brought your own water. I hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here. What's with all the Nosafed? Tell me about the water, the distilled water. Yeah, good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water. And it's distilled too. Oh? He doesn't know what to say. It's the one they sell at the fuel station. It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. Okay. What's with all the Nosafed? The what now? He leans in to hear you better. The Nosafed Ultra? You have a lot of it laying around? Oh, the old Ultra. He's like an actor looking to the souffleur for his line. I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. I can't even breathe. Sound fine to me. Yes, that's all the Nosafed's doing. Without the Nosa, I'd be drowning in shit right now. Nosafed is the shit. Can I have some? I have some nose problems. Hey! Sure. Here you go, officer. The Nosa. Blast away. I hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here. It does, doesn't it? Told you we have a smell problem. He picks up a piece of telephone cord and inspects it. What are you looking at the telephone cord for? Wait, I also smell ether? Why? It's mixed with a peculiar chemical scent, like laundry detergent? No. Tell me about the ether? Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid? Nope. Also laundry detergent? He sniffs the air, then shrugs. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share. Unlike the girl outside, however, the boy's breathing is regular. Their jaws stay put and their pupils aren't dilated, so they're not under the influence currently. At least not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, some depressants. How do you know all this? Okay, that's enough. So, maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze. We have a 17% chance of that. Convinced you're a smart cop. Oh, so he's convinced us that we're a smart cop. I gotcha. So he's turned our brain against us. So it's a 17% check for our logic. That's it. Is there anything we have that can increase logic? I don't think we do. Oh, we do the glasses. -1 authority. There we go. Put on them glasses. Gonna spin our guy around. There he is. Look at him. Okay, well, you know, it was a white check. We have decent logic, so that must be a really high skill.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
It's godly. Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze. Okay, 28% chance. It's low, but it's a white check. So we could redo it if we wanted to. Might as well. Nah, we failed. We needed a 14. We needed a 16 and we got a 14. Well, first of all, you're a smart cop, and a smart cop like you would understand if something wasn't quite right. So this should be easy. What's the gist of it? The gist of it is they want to turn the church into a club, but a suspicious element has overtaken the building. It's very important to understand what the gist of things is. Always consult the gist before making up your mind. This is going well. Plus, and it has been considered, you can't invent the future of dance music in the smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete. Their story checks out. I mean, it really doesn't, though. I could put a point in our logic and try to redo it and have a 30-something% maybe. Can you tell me a little more about, maybe I should have asked her about what's going on in there?
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church,
I mean, I got questions first.
Shoot.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see? Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you. She's less prone to blurting out Crabman than the others. We'll see. Go ahead and tell me. Or you're right. Let me ask. No, go ahead and tell me. You don't know. Maybe I'll believe you. Okay, I went in, and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's being raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression. Didn't say anything, just stood still. Thought it was a crab person, not an old woman. Go on. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall, upside down, like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story. Like a crab, you say? What did this crab man look like? It's too dark. I couldn't tell exactly. Come on, she obviously could. She already went into a little detail. Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like? You were right, I don't believe you. Or, you were wrong, I do believe you. I mean, I do believe that you saw something, but I don't believe that it was a man crawling down the wall. I mean, it's probably just a... If you know, Christianity is in this game, sure, it was just like a crucified Jesus or something. But, you were wrong, I do believe you. Why? Seems too ludicrous for a lie. What would you stand to gain? Strange things happen. No, why would you lie? There's nothing that would come out of this. What would you stand to gain? Nothing. Anyways, what else? I'd like to know more about your associates. My associates? I haven't got much to say about them. What do you mean? You must know something about them. Or just answer the question, please. No. You must know something. Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them to the cops. Yeah. What about you? Tell me something about you. Me? I'm a silver bird. Okay. Maybe I'll ask later about all this. New task. Get Estelle to talk about her associates. But I can't. Just answer the question, please. Sorry. Maybe I'll ask later. Okay, so... Okay, bye. So I could go in the church and look around, or I could keep exploring what everything else around here. And I think I'm going to go explore before we go bust into the church, because I have no reason to go in there. And also, I don't believe them. So let's look around back. So there's a weird rock. Why is this rock highlighted? Take some money. Okay. We have a little bunker here. That's interesting. With a winch on top. These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. The building before you housed the engine. Must have been a big one. An engine for what? This barrel has been recently discarded. It still smells of fuel oil. The chain trails off into the ocean to who knows where. So, is this like a big chain that you put across the inlet? That way any boats that try to sail in can't get past the chain? An old door worn by elements guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been open in a long time. You see a handle. It's an impossible check. What is this thing anyway? It's military, a service depot of some sort. Used to serve as what? The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it. Okay, so it's kind of like a ferry. So it's a red check, so we cannot do it. I mean, we couldn't do it, and there's no possibility we can redo it if we fail. So let's keep moving along, check some more things out. Just hug the coast. Like I'm getting well out of the way here. Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock. Brand Teomotiri. You take a mental note. Teomotiri seems important somehow. I'm not sure if it does. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. A rusted, broken control box for the radio relay tower. Where is the man? We'll check out the relay tower in a minute. Where is the scientist, the cryptozoologist? Let's take the scented scarf. +1 shivers, -2 physical instrument. Where does that fit? That probably goes around our neck, right? Instead of the horrific necktie. Yeah, but we don't need -2 physical implement or whatever because we're already pretty bad at physicality, so we kind of need extra physicality if we can. Tiny inlets there off to the far distance where the post trail toward... Can't see what the rest of it said. It was off screen. This ladder is too rusty to climb. The sea air is eating away at it. This relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay. Barely. Okay. Well, let's keep moving. That wasn't helpful. Keep going. Come on. Let's go. Keep it up. Keep up a good jog. What's this box? Probably some more money. A white polo shirt. +1 rhetoric. -1 empathy. And some money. That's a supply depot for the government. There could be rifles in there. Rifles used to kill our guy. I mean, it's been so long since we've done with anything about the guy, the hanged man. It's almost like that was a whole other game. A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome of the payphone here. A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone, the machine is operable. Okay, for 10 cents, we could just dial a random number. Okay, let's do it. 00524031155. Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up. Pierre? Is that you, Pierre? The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. Yes, it's me, Pierre. I might be. What's Pierre like? Or, no, this is not Pierre. I mean, there's no reason to lie to this woman. I'm just randomly dialing your phone for no reason. But I'm not a jerk. No, this is not Pierre. Do you have any news about Pierre? Who is Pierre? Or, no, I have nothing. Or, yes, Pierre is dead. Let's not say that. Who is Pierre? He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad, fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyway. It's a shame what you did to our country. This woman moans and the phone lines howl in unison with her. I'm not a salesman. I was just calling a random number and you somehow ran with it. Yes, I'm a salesman. What exactly did we do to your country? I don't know who I am, but who are you? No, I'm a police officer. No, who are you, person? I was a baroness. There's silence on the other end. You won't get mad. You won't get me, and you won't get my money. The phone hangs up. Okay. So we could just keep dialing random numbers, but does not sound very fun. Here's the boardwalk, okay. Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. Take a closer look. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket underneath this crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this bench to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass. Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I think this is the jacket that idiot Doom Spiral guy wanted me to find. The lieutenant looks at the stinking rag and sniffs. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned. Take the filthy jacket. Can we clean it up a little? We can inspect it, right? We can interact with it. So let's interact with it. Filthy rag has been at the mercy of the elements for quite some time. It's streaked with seagull shit and abnormally stiff from God knows what natural processes. You can't even tell what brand it is. As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting? It's a sordid and filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously. No, let's think about it. Let's do it. We're doing it. It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature tangled in gray strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore. Gross. Okay, but what is the crust made of? Somehow it was carried or dragged to the boardwalk. If not by human hands, then perhaps the feral dogs that prowl the beaches at night. The faint impression of many footprints are also present, although it's impossible to tell what kind or how many. Suffice it to say, the jacket spent some time on the ground before someone draped it over the railing. What happened to once someone put it on the railing? The crust is hard. This jacket spent at least a day baking in the sun. Who knows what happened to it then? Somewhere high above the city, a pair of seagulls trace loops through the air. They are like the bombardiers of the aerostatic brigade, gliding above a target-rich environment. All of a sudden, the bomb bay doors open and their white glittering payload rushes to the ground. Splat! An explosion of white on a man's shoe. A curse goes up, but the birds do not hear. Why did I just spend all this time thinking about seagull shit? I feel like I really understand this jacket now. Why did I spend all this time thinking about seagull shit? It's too late. You've already thought about it, and now your hands are covered in muck. Ew. Flick your hands. Or maybe if I wipe my hands on my pants. I wipe my hands on the pants, it's just gonna transfer it to my pants. So flick your hands. Morale is critical. Well, I could use one of my Nosafeds or whatever. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out. Okay. And then we just end, right? That was just the end. Okay. Take the money. A makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. That tarp will keep out neither the rain, nor snow, or wind. What do we have here? Something that's locked. Okay. Got some money over here. I'll take it. And then I'll come back and check this other stuff. But it looks like there's even more boardwalk. Okay. Take the money. Just like rolling in dough over here. It's almost 3. Day is moving on. A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. A box of something. Some Mega Binos prescription lenses. +2 encyclopedia. -1 perception. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water dripped from it. Now let's get out our crowbar. And see if we can't get into this thing. Take a postcard. Okay. And head down the pier. Oh wait, what is this? Is that a person on the pier? A big wine canister. It's open and empty. Moonshine probably. Smells like tasty fermentation. The smell, it's awful and familiar. Hold on, that is awful. Cover your nose. What is it? Isn't it just the rotting fish? No, what is it? Don't you recognize it? The hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness? Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be. Heads up, Kim. Something's not right here. The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose. Careful there. These floorboards look rotten and weak. Sir? Sir, are you dead? Working class corpse. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits, in his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there. Hold on. The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is, he's been dead for 2 days, no longer. We need to investigate. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day, just another dead body. Breathe. Study the man's clothes. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. Search his pockets. A folded library card. Finds some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded in 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand. Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done. Study the man. The man has fallen through the crack on the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark. Examine his face. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters, curly hair, stout build, age approximately 50 to 60 years. Okay, let's study the surroundings. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the man's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. Examine the man's head. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him. I don't see any other major wounds, do you? It's hard to say. No, just one in the back of his head. That's hard to say. Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench. Step on the floorboards? They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was what caused the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves turning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you have never found him. Examine the bottle. A 0.75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. Terror all around us. He looks at two other bottles forgotten near the coin-operated viewers. Examine the chewing gum wrapper. Rabowski. Spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. Look in. The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum, too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there, solidified on his lower rear teeth. He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before, almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same. The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back. Who is this man? Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know the spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. You look south the way you came. But that's a lazy assumption. What do you think? Looks like another old drunkard to me. I think labeling him as alcoholic is a bit premature. We don't know anything yet. Yeah, sure. Let's not label the man. We do know that he was married. Kim points to the ring on the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen and gray. But you're right, let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk. Well, what do you think happened to him? Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. Truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. Could it be related to the lynching? Do you think he was drunk? What about the kebab? Someone should be held responsible for the broken boardwalk that's dangerous. No. Could it be related to the lynching? No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as simple, albeit sad accident, unrelated to the murder case. Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple for now. Do you think he was drunk? Oh, yes. What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure? Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. What about his kebab? What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the Pox. Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab. Someone should be held responsible for the nature condition of this boardwalk. They'll seal this place off after the news reaches coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would help anyone. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean. Okay, yeah, sure. What should we do with him? From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. Hold on, what about a field autopsy? We found him, we should finish this. What about a field autopsy? A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma on the autopsy report and leave it at that. It should save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work. Yeah, but isn't that kind of sloppy? Maybe. Well, we don't really have that much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest. So we should finish this. Let's leave the case for the station. I still need some time to decide. No, we found him. We should finish this. Alright. We should first examine that library card. Then we can call the station from my Kanema. Let them know we're taking the case. Okay. Where's the library card? That's the postcard. This is the library card. A library card found in the pocket of a dead man on the Martinez boardwalk. It's still slightly damp to the touch. The cover bears the stamp of Jamrock Public Library. The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejun, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name, could be the deceased or his family member. Let's look on the back side before we open it up. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005-02-55-211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours is 9 to 18. Good. We should give them a call from my Kanema, see if we can learn anything about Billy Magin. Let's look inside. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio Thriller, Stand a Little Less Between Me and the Sun. The last one on the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Tabolt. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre, some thrillers too. Okay, let's put it away. This coin-operated viewer has been out of order for years. Stop messing with the coin viewer and hold on to something. This wind is so strong. What's in the trash can? We haven't looked at that. There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, a crumpled kebab wrapper. Examine the tear. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liqueur plus some Pilsner bottles. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic. A tragedy. Examine the cigarette package. Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content. Okay, what about the kebab wrapper? You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two, no mold yet. It's hard to concentrate on the smell. The sea air brings some relief. Okay, so we know he died no more than a day or two ago. We potentially know his name. But I think we're done with the boardwalk. Something about these cigarettes. I'm probably going to have to like track down who did what by the type of cigarette that they're smoking. Because there was a cigarette up here, that Red Astra, and the cigarettes down here that I don't remember what the name was. Something long. Let's see if we can call the library from here. We can't. You just a random number. Okay. Well, I guess we look up here in this building if we can get up there. Alright, so we have to come over here. What is... The water runs from the west, the source is upstream, a broken pipe. So down here is the... Yeah, there's the sand castle. And we can't go that way, so we have to go up and over this little bridge. And we can go up top. Who are you? Who are you? Seriously. Guy and a kid? Just out here? Who are you?
And Mikhail, notice the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinaise. I'm Trant Heidelstadt. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
How do you know Kim's name?
Nice to meet you.
Hold on. Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Jan Karp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. What was that about the windows?
Oh, yes. So, Mikhail, they had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago, so they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Sure. Okay. I mean, they could just use curtains. You know, blinds, drapes. They could still have windows and just cover them up. You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to the worm-themed coloring book. Or clutching his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
Oh, I know. Worms. Great. The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms, when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Yeah. No, I'm not here for giant worms. I'm here for dead guys. So you should maybe not take your kid down to the pier. Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after his inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries. What's so fascinating about an old empty building? Or an empty old building? You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money? No. What's so fascinating about this old empty building? Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. He raises his hand to his eyes to shield himself from the pattering rain. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom. Okay, let's look at the building. It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of a collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill. I don't think I've ever heard of them. That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines, but Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing up my metaphor here. Okay, well, what's the ace? It was here in Martinaise, probably in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. A tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to an average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today. Giants, Ream, ICN, and ZAM haven't achieved yet. He assumed something like a combat stance facing the wind. Well, what happened to them? Indeed, what? The revolution? Yeah. Good boy, Mikhail. Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Probably from this very building or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk. What happened to the engineers? What did the revolutionaries do with their tape computers? How do those tape computers work? So Feld built this boardwalk? Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war. A pleasure wheel? Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics, but history had other plans. What happened to the engineers? Well, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. He smiles again, as if he's somehow personally responsible for this bleak turn of event. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here if you were to ask about tape computers. Wait, is he saying that we should just bypass the excesses of the revolution? Turn to Mikhail. He means they all died at the hands of the communists. No, tape computers, right. Tape computers. What did the revolutionaries do with those tape computers? They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Decree de Marche. What was that? That's the March Decree. It means the radio transmission. The radio transmission sent out to news agency and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser d'Insuline. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it, tried to. Someone has too much interest in worms to be paying any attention. The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of this book, already forgetting about this part of the conversation. How do they work? Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. Buckle up. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition in the Wompty Dompty Dom Center in Redfort, Orange. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ackerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins, Keith and Guy, Just joined the team, trying to... Wait, did he just say Wompty Dompty Dom Center? Yes, he did, and I thought it was very confusing. What the hell is a Wompty Dompty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Just? Okay. The Wompty Dompty Dom Center, Paul Ackerman, Keith and Guy Just, what are you talking about? Or, okay, back to tape computers? No. What are you talking about? The Wompty Dompty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts, there it is again, those words. The exhibition drew itself on Legerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ackerman, chose to... You're making this up. Kim, he's making this... Is he making this up? Or come on, there's no place called the Wompty Dompty Dom Center of Arts. No, Kim, is he making this up? Thought gained. Wompty Dompty Dom Center. In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dompty Dom Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Redfort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary arts research center. Perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One can write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output into a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing. Made of black film and folding tape structures. Cool. I've seen cooler things than that. The RCM should get one of those. No. Cool, I guess. Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07. The failed playback experiment? Was that what you called it? Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the failed playback experience, but those are incorrect. And why did they destroy it? Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. Yeah, I wanted to ask you something. No, I think I'm done. Thank you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation. Pick your brain. If anything, it was rather one-sided. You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out failed electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away. Tomorrow is just a whisper away. Looks like tomorrow never came. Yes, Kim. Tomorrow did not come for Feld. Take the money. Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. I guess we can't get through that way. The fence blocks the path. No way from here. No, we can... Something on the roof. But what are these purple things we can break into? Take some money. Take some Nosifed. We're just like loading up on Nosifed. Hey, who are you? Are you the cryptozoologist? You kind of look like a cryptozoologist. Alright, just scouting out things before I end the episode. Oh, we didn't have to come all the way down. We could have just went around. Ah, I see. Okay, my mistake. Okay, so it looks like maybe you can come out on top. Maybe get up on the roof, but I don't know why we want to get up on the roof. But this episode, I think, went on long enough. We will check out all these other places in the next episode. There's been so much reading, we have not gotten anywhere. Well, I say haven't gotten anywhere. We haven't gotten anywhere on the original death, but now we know another dead man that we have to investigate. But, like I said, we'll end it here. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again next time.